This is just some random areas of progress that I've made on this frame swap that I'm doing on Grandpa's Jeep. So I'm discovering new things as I'm trying to move a CJ2A onto this M38 frame. The M38 has a different style of attachment for the master cylinder. The master cylinder has 2 through bolts, whereas the other one has a threaded hole in the master cylinder, and it threads from this side and from this side. And then this tie plate has a threaded hole for the tie plate right here. Well, this one has 2 through holes that go all the way through to the frame. What I didn't know was that this tie plate, or actually that the holes are farther apart. Their holes are farther apart on the later style master cylinders. They're about, I don't know, a ½ inch or something farther apart. So my tie plate from my 2A wouldn't fit. The holes wouldn't line up. So I did a redneck fix, and I filed this out and ground it out and kind of hogged the hole out to the side. And I'm going to put a big washer on it. I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. So there it is, all buttoned up. Just FYI, I did look around and try and find one of these plates for sale. Everyone sells the ones for the early MBs and the early 2As, but they don't sell them for these later model with the different style master cylinders that I could find anyway. So anyway, I modified this one. I think it's going to work just fine. Since I have the flywheel off and the clutch kit has a new pilot bushing, this one's really not too bad, but the other one's a little better. I'm going to go ahead and knock this one out. I have a brass drift here that I'm going to hit it with my hammer. It's easier to get out when it's off than when it's on. Okay, I got the new pilot bushing in right here. I just tapped it in with my brass drift. Probably doesn't make that much difference, but we try not to mushroom the edges out there so that your nose of your transmission can go in there. Anyway, the machine shop cleaned it up pretty nice. Don't see any cracks in it anymore. Going back on. So I'm here bolting the pressure plate and the clutch on. The flywheel got all cleaned up by the machine shop. It looks really good. We're putting the new clutch on now. Here's the clutch alignment tool in order to make sure that the clutch disc is aligned so that the input shaft from the transmission will go into the clutch disc and the pilot bushing. And now we're just going to bolt it down. Okay, this throwout bearing is kind of crunchy, so a new one came in the clutch kit. So in order to change these on this setup, you have to undo this spring over here. I don't know if I can keep filming and do it with one hand, but needle nose vice grips usually will do the job. There we go. Got the spring off there. Then I'll just put the spring on I got the new bearing right here. It's smooth. This one's crunchy. This one's nice and smooth. So I'll put the spring over on this new bearing and carrier. This one came pre-greased with the clutch kit. So I'm just going to slide it on there and hook the spring up. Okay, I got the new throwout bearing installed and the spring hooked up. When you do this, you want to make sure that you get the shift fork on the ball back here in the detent, and then the shift fork fingers behind the ears on the throwout bearing carrier. And mine are a little screwed up here. I'm gonna have to fix that on the ball, and then make sure you got the cable ball in the right spot. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go in and straighten mine. It's kind of canted in an odd way back there, so I'm gonna fix that. So I started to move this axle over. This is the front axle to the new frame. When I got to trying to mount up the shackles, it turns out that I didn't realize there was a bushing in here still, and I tried everything that I could on the other side that I could think of to get the bushing out. I couldn't get it out. I tried cutting it, I tried pounding it, I tried pressing it, nothing. Finally, I went and bought some drill bits, about $100 worth, and that thing just fought me and fought me and fought me. But I finally got this one drilled out so I can get my poly bushing in here for my shackles. So I've got one more to do. I'm going to start hitting it with the drill today, and then hopefully I'll be able to get this front axle settled into this new frame. Got my smaller oil squirter installed, and I got my new fiber timing gear. I got the marks lined up here. I don't know if you can see that. Well, they are lined up. I had them backed up just a little bit, but it got turned a little bit when I was messing with things. Anyway, they are lined up, so the timing's going to be on. Got your spacer in here and your oil slinger. Now it's time to put the timing cover, fit the timing cover on. I got a new seal in here, brand new seal right in here. And when you buy the Felpro, there's the box over there. When you buy the Felpro timing cover kit for these Go Devil engines, they come with this gasket. Oh, I need to widen my field of view here a little. And they also come with this little partial pan gasket, because you don't pull the full pan. You just want to put this tiny little piece of the pan gasket on. The problem is they send it way too long, so I'm going to have to trim off these ends. So I'm going to trim off these ends. And I learned from my good friend Bruce Walker that silicone is not a great idea to use on these little engines because it gets inside of them and plugs things up. But this is one place I'm going to use a tiny bit of silicone right here on this corner where this gasket meets up with the old gasket, and fit them together after I trim them. Okay, so that's the one place I'm going to use silicone. Other than that, I mostly just use a Permatex #2 or the aviation gasket sealer. Use that on everything for the most part on these engines. One thing that's good to do with these engines when you take the timing cover off is fit it on there and center it on the shaft there before you tighten up the bolts. Make sure that it's centered. So tighten up these bolts around the cover first before you tighten up the pan bolts, because if you don't, it'll pull this down and it won't be centered on the seal, and then you'll get leaks. And my luck, I always get leaks anyway. I can't ever get anything to seal right, but that's where I'm at now. I'm putting this cover on. Got the cover and the pulley, the nut all installed, all ready to go. My next task is to marry the engine and the transmission back up together. Got the clutch and everything all in. I think I went over that before. So now I'm going to try and assemble these back together. It's a little bit tricky with the thing sitting on the ground and no jacks or anything, but I've done it before, so we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. Okay, I'm going to call it today. I got the engine and the transmission, transfer case, gearboxes all married back up. Fought me a little bit, but not too bad. Went ahead and put the starter and the generator back on and the belt, things like that. I also got this rear axle into the new frame. I put the old frame outside. I just got one more thing to get off of it, the cross member. I'll get that off another day. But I got this rear axle in. I got the steering box in. Some of the other stuff. The wiring is in here. This front bushing is still fighting me. I'm trying several different methods to try and get that one bushing drilled out, and I'm about halfway or third of the way through that bushing, and I stop whatever I'm doing and go back and hit it with the drill for a while, but it's really fighting me. Don't know what else to do about that. But anyway, I have made some good progress. I feel like things are starting to go back onto the new frame.